Kia ora koutou, everybody. I'll briefly introduce and then we'll get into it. Well, get rid of that. Don't look at the Dunkin' Donuts, it's not mine. No problem, it's for the wife. I know she'll steal it from me anyway. They do that, that's called sharing. Ko Waikato te iwi ko ngā te tainga te hapu. Ko weraroa te marae, ko whaingaroa te moana, ko kareoa te maunga, ko Huhana hou. So, my name is Huhana, I'm from the Waikato. My whānau hail from over that way on the west coast. When Tainui actually arrived, when the waka arrived, I'm told from the whānau that we welcomed them and we gave them the river because we weren't giving up our kaura, our kina, and all the other good kaimoana out there. They could come and enjoy it when they visited, but it's ours. Anyway, from that area, from Whakatohea as well. And the reason why I'm going to share the rest of my whakapapa is because we are all more than what people initially see. I'm also Aboriginal. My great-great-grandfather was one of those tent boxes in the 1920s. And my nanny, she was very friendly. She liked sharing aroha around. Her legal husband, I think she had about 4 to him. His gum digging business partner, she had about 3 or 4 to him. And then she spent 3 years at Te Waiwai. She was a close friend of Te Puia. And she had 2 little sabbaticals, as they called them, my Nana Mary and my great-uncle Bobby, who died in World War II. And so she brought him back to her legal husband and he embraced them. And I guess that's what aroha is. She also was well known, lived off K Road in Auckland and brought in all the disabled, all the queers, all the prostitutes, all the street people, and used to feed and house them. And in that spirit, I'd like to think, because she died exactly 10 years ago on my birthday, 9 February 1952, that when I was born, 9 February 1962, that somehow we connected. Because I've always believed in diversity. I've always believed that difference isn't something to be afraid of. And in that nature, that's the work I do. I've been doing it for a long time. I've also been I'm a survivor of abuse, and I've known it from a very young age. My earliest memory was my adoptive uncle touching me at the age of 3 and reminding me that I wasn't like them. I was Māori. They knew, and that he said because I wasn't blood, they could do what they liked, but I wasn't to tell anybody. And like anyone that's ever been abused from a young age, it informs your life. You can't escape that. The reality is, though, that when we get to a certain age, we end up making a decision. We can either remain victims or we can be in charge and become survivors. Within that journey, of course, I didn't know who I was sexually either. And of course, I didn't even know of different sexualities. I was raised with nuns. And honestly, they didn't even know much about sex either. But, I just remember some of what they taught us, and it was very little. But, it was the generation where you only found out about periods when it was suddenly on your clothes at school and everyone's laughing at you. You become humiliated and think that you are the dirtiest person in the world, and that they reinforce that as well. We've grown from that time, but a lot of our people my age, our generation, we still carry a lot of that hate, a lot of what went on back then. I remember questioning even my gender, and I'm really proud of my mokopuna today who's non-binary and identifying that way, because I didn't know. I didn't even know what a lesbian was. This is how naive I was. I remember playing doctors and nurses and mummies and daddies with my best friend at the age of 10. I didn't know that was the beginning of my feelings. And I always remember that I thought Leslies were lesbians because anyone named Leslie. So I was looking at them going, so what is it about you that makes you different, And then, of course, my naivety, kind of got the better of me in the end. Curiosity, of course, they say kills the cat. It only made me want to go even further and find out more, which I did. And so we explore, and our generation today do that. And what we're facing now is one of the biggest crises in the LGBTQI community, and that is the abuse of those within our community who are even more different. And many of them are intersex. People say there's only a male and a female. No. Intersex people will tell you that they're on a spectrum as well. Gender is not that easy. You might even have all the genitalia of one gender, but your hormones, everything that's going on inside of you and the way your brain is wired, you feel a different gender. And you know what? I think that's wonderful, but society doesn't. And we need to be strong. One of the things that makes abusers win is when we give them the power, okay? And one of the things around my generation is we gave them the power. We didn't have the same ability to question. When my